Hi and welcome back to the channel. My name is Nicole with morningchores.com, and today we're going to show you how to store your garlic for long-term use. If you missed our how to harvest garlic, I will link that in the description box below, but today is an extension of that video. We're going to check our garlic and see if it's finished curing, and then we will show you some tips on how you can store it so that it will last for months to come. As you can see behind me here, I have my garlic here curing. It's been in here for about 2 weeks. So we need to check and make sure that it's done curing, because we don't want to take these down and put them in storage unless we're for sure ready. The first sign that your garlic is done curing and ready to put up in storage is the cloves should have a firm feel. They should not feel soft at all. If they do feel soft, these are the garlic bulbs you're probably going to have to use right away. But they should not feel soft at all. They should be firm and hard. The second sign that they're done curing is this should feel completely dry. The leaves dry, the stalk and the bulb and the roots should all feel completely dry. And this one does. It feels very much like super dry paper. It's crinkly, and if I just take some of this off, it just peels right off and crumbles away. Since these are definitely ready to put up in storage, I'm going to go ahead and take these down and we'll move on to the next step. The next step is prepping your garlic, and a few tools you need is you need to do this at a table. Since I'm outside, I'm just going to use a cutting board on my lap, and then you also need a dry rag and some scissors. The first step is to remove as much soil as you can from the bulb. You can do this by shaking it, you can use it by simply removing it with your fingers, or you can use a rag. You do not want to use a wet or damp rag because we don't want to introduce any moisture to our garlic bulbs, so if you do use a rag, make sure it's dry. Once that's complete, you're going to cut the stalk about 1 inch above the bulb. And then we're going to trim the roots. And there you have it. Simple as that. Now that we've prepped our garlic, it's time to figure out what type of container to store it in. The biggest thing is you want a container that's going to encourage good circulation. One option is using a woven basket like I have here, and this provides good airflow because there's holes on each sides, including the bottom, so there would definitely be good enough air circulation to get to the garlic. You could also use a wire mesh basket as long, again, as there's circulation coming from all sides. It's really not ideal to store your garlic in a box or something like that. It's just going to close off the circulation, and it could cause your garlic to become damp and then rot, and that's not what we want. Another option for storing your garlic is using a mesh bag like this one. I purchased this one from the Container Store. You can get them off of Amazon, but these work really great. It's a reusable produce bag that you take to the grocery store to put your produce in, but it works great for storing garlic because it has these holes, so there's good circulation, and you can put your garlic in here and then hang it in a closet or somewhere like that, but these work really well too. If you don't want to go necessarily purchase something special, you can always save the bags that your oranges come in, or your avocados or lemons. Those usually have a similar consistency with the tiny holes and the mesh-like consistency, so those also are a great option if you don't want to spend a lot of money. An ideal location consists of a dry, dark location with good circulation. A lower cupboard in your kitchen is really ideal for this. You want to hang around 60 degrees, but don't feel like you have to stick to this. It can be a little bit warmer, even a little bit cooler. The key is dry. Also, another area that works well in your kitchen is a closet. If you have a pantry or someplace, again, that's dark and dry, you can hang your mesh bag of garlic or put your basket in there, and this is another great option. One option that's not great in the kitchen is the refrigerator. A lot of people like to store their garlic in the fridge, and it's fine for short-term use, but for long-term storage, it's not great because when you pull the garlic out for it to reach room temperature, it will sprout, stunting its long-term storage. The basement is really not a great option for storing garlic unless you have a really dry basement. The problem is most basements tend to be damp and there's too much moisture down there for your garlic, which will cause it to age faster and it won't keep for as long. So my advice is find a different place to store your garlic. One of the things that I like to do is when I get my garlic ready for storage, I like to take out my biggest, best bulbs and I set those aside for planting time, which will be this fall. I take my biggest, best bulbs and I plant them in the fall, and that will ensure a successful crop next year. I know it's kind of tough. You want to usually eat the biggest and best produce, but if I plant one of my little bulbs, it will not produce very well next year. So you want to save your biggest, best bulbs for next year's growing season. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. You can also head over to morningchores.com where you'll find all kinds of information on homesteading, DIY, gardening, and much, much more. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.